Hi, it's me again, MusicalConman. It's defect time, but I think I want to try something different with this one. So it's a question of what I want to try and do. I think I want to go for one of the achievements. Might be a good time to try the one relic challenge. So you could get a big max health upgrade, I like that, card upgrade. Next 3 combats have 1 HP, but I want to try this. Velvet Choker. So we got rid of our starting relic. Now we have 4 energy every turn, but we can't play more than 6 cards. And we're going to try to not get any other relics. So it'll be about building a good deck. So campfires become good. Elites become less good if we're not taking the relic. It's still a better chance at getting a rare card. It's still a lot of money, so like it's still better than a regular fight if you can get it without too much risk. I don't think we want to go this path. That's kind of aggressive. If we want to go this way, this is equivalent. So we're going to start here, and we can make some more decisions later. Alright, 4 energy. But we can't play more than 6 cards. Okay, so we'll defend, strike, zap, and do we want to dual cast to deal 16 right now, or strike and keep that orb? I think I'll keep the orb a little longer. Oh, here's all the defense. Just how it is, of course. Alright. Well, we can full block and get another lightning. We could also deal 12 damage. But so do we want to deal 6 damage this turn, get it down to 8, or block 1 damage? It's gonna block again. But I really think with 2 lightning orbs, yeah, we've got 3 strikes and a dual cast, so we can definitely save that 1 health. It's very doomed. That's why it's always useful to look at your deck. 0 cost cards, these are not bad. They're better on 3 energy, they're a lot worse when you have a limited number of cards you can even play. We'll take a Sweeping Beam. It's AoE damage, it draws a card, and we play it now. Alright, so we always strike this one, and do we strike this one again? Is it going to make us weak or frail? I think it makes it frail. If we zap dual cast, yeah, if we strike, zap, dual cast, we can always kill that right one. So let's get that one out of the way. Zap, dual cast for 16, and strike for the rest. I like a cold snap. Streamline is better than usual just because it's expensive. But I think it's good to get a frost orb here. Alright, now we have to actually make a decision. So this way is all the hallway fights, and then a super elite, or an elite. This way we get elite, campfire, campfire elite, or just another campfire. Do I want to go to a shop with the amount of money we have? I don't think I want to go to that many hallway fights. So let's go this way, see what we get here. Okay, remove, transform, upgrade. None of these are a super good upgrade. Zap would be the best upgrade, I guess, to get it from costing 1 to 0, but that's actually kind of bad. So then it's remove or transform. We could just upgrade Sweeping Beam to do 3 more damage. It's not terrible. Cold Snap is 3 more damage, but to 1 target, but it's a better card. Let's remove a strike, I think. If we're going to beat this without relics, we probably want to have a skinnier, more svelte deck. And let's see what the shop has to offer. Alright, self-repair is good. All for One is not bad, but Velvet Choker makes it a lot worse. We could do self-repair and card remove. I think that's pretty good. We could also buy a potion to get through an elite fight, but I'm hoping that this fight will give us either a potion or a good card. So I'm going to take self-repair, and I'm going to... it's a little risky, but I'm going to remove another strike. So now we have basically the same amount of offense we started with, but we've turned 2 of our strikes into Sweeping Beam and Cold Snap. Let's go to this fight, because we need another card. Alright, this has less armor. So let's get working on that. Dual casting a Frost Orb would get us a lot of block, and that seems pointless, but honestly this fight is probably solved here. We will get our self-repair in play, so we'll get to go into the elite fight with 75 health. Cool. Compile driver. I like that, yeah. We got Frost, we got Lightning, draw some cards. Go for the Eyes is decent, but since we've taken out 2 strikes, we want to replace them with other better damage cards. Okay, we are going to get a Zap in play here, so I'm into that. And we're getting a lot of defends out of our deck, at least. Alright, we get a Cold Snap. Now that'll draw a dual cast and 1 other. Do we like to draw Strike more than the rest of these? I think on average, Strike is a better thing to draw. So let's draw 2. Okay, we didn't get one we wanted to play. So we got to spend all our energy on attacks this turn, which is pretty good. As long as we keep doing that, we ought to be in decent shape. Get another Frost Orb. We could do this to deal 8 damage, but take 2 more. I don't know if we kill it next turn. It's 4 energy. Let's say we just do 4 strikes. I think this could make the difference between us killing it next turn, because it's going to be at 28. Let's get it down to 20. We'll take a big hit, but with self-repair, it's going to be easy to... Ideally, it'll be easier to heal us up later, and we've won the fight. Maybe could have afforded to block there, but wanted to play it safe. Alright, what do we got here? Centennial... Right, we're not taking it. Almost took it. We could take another Sweeping Beam. I don't think we need that. If we're going to beat this with only 1 relic, we're going to need some good cards. And Sweeping Beam is... We just need Sweeping Beam to help us beat the early elite. Recycle could be a good way to shrink our deck, which is great for doing an infinite combo, but we can't do an infinite combo with Velvet Choker, so I'm wondering how much that does for us. It lets us play the same 6 cards every turn, which could be good, but I think it's a little early for any of these. So skip the rewards, just take the money, and let's get an upgrade. I'm going to upgrade either Cold Snap or Compile Driver. I think Cold Snap we're going to play every time we draw it. Sweeping Beam is AoE damage, but it's a card we're less excited about. We get to remove another strike, so this is really nice. So now we're back to 4 attacks, but they are better. Do we want another fight, or do we want some events? I think our deck can kill elites at this Ascension level. But it wouldn't hurt to have 1 more good card. Alright, so let's get our Sapphire Key, and a bunch of money, more importantly. Buy Mercury Hourglass, you're a good relic, but not good for us here. Alright, we got a Cold Snap, a Defend. Self-Repair is better than Defend, but we can only play it once. I think we'll get to play Self-Repair again later. So let's defend now, heal another time. Alright, draw me something. So we could take 2 to get another Lightning Orb in play. I'm gonna take it easy. I want to leave these for Frost Orbs right now. Okay. Let's draw a card, see what it is. You know what, I should have played Cold Snap first so we could draw it again. But we got our Self-Repair in play. We are entangled this turn, but we can probably block pretty well. And look at that, we've done it. Also, we kill it with Zap, and we can even do it faster with Dual Cast. Fear Potion, and Loop. I'm very interested in Loop. Loop is a really nice power. At the start of your turn, trigger the passive ability of your next orb. Money or Money and Curse? I like Money, I don't like Curse. Let's take some money. Go ahead, we'll do the Elite Path. I'd like a rare card. And Loop is going to be a nice upgrade here. Trigger the passive ability of your next orb 2 times, so doubling its effect. Uh-oh. upgraded Cold Snap is gonna break its slumber, so let's wait. Get one of those. Next turn we can get a couple of powers in play, and then we'll have those out of our deck, which is good. We don't want to draw those anymore. Alright, so it's waking up whether we like it or not. Get a loop and get that self-repair out of the way. So now at the start of our turn, that Lightning Orb is going to deal another 6 damage. Let's see, do we want to have that loop on a Lightning Orb or a Frost Orb? We could also block and only take 3 here, and just leave the Lightning Orb in place. I think that's a nice compromise between damage and murder. Okay, next turn... So we could have a Frost Orb in front next turn, but we don't really want to, because we want that loop to deal damage next turn when it's not attacking us. So we're going to take another 6. We're not going to play the other Zap because it deals more damage not to. So there, it keeps ticking. Draw some cards. Alright, let's do that. Next turn it is going to attack, so we will get into some pretty full blocking. We have an Explosive Potion to finish, so this fight is pretty much in our hands. So we've already blocked for 10. Okay. Just get a Lightning Orb in play. Fully block, finish it probably next turn. And there you go. Lagavulin fight. Don't take it. Yikes. Take the potion. Don't want another Compile Driver. It lets us cycle through our deck pretty quick. I do really like Compile Driver. And we're up against the Slime Boss, which is going to fill our deck with, well, slime statuses, which is no good. We could just loop Self-Repair, Defend. Loop isn't doing anything for us, but it's good to get it set up. Yikes, we can't draw any cards because we don't have any orbs. Can't evoke any orbs because we don't have any orbs. This is the danger of trading your starting relic. Let's take an attack potion. Steal some damage. So we'll take 3, but it's lower on health. Alright, now we can finally get some orbs. It's a question of which one we want in front. I think we're trying to kill it. So we'll do that in front, then that. I think we can just full block. We have low odds of killing it this turn. And let's see, there we go. We could take an All for One as our rare card, but there's nothing here we really want to double. We could get another Cold Snap. It lets us do a lot of Frost Orb stuff. We could also get a Cool Headed. I think with Compile Drivers and Orbs, we're going to draw enough. All for One, it just doesn't work for anything in our deck right now. It's kind of unfortunate as our rare card option. Let's take a Cold Snap. And what are we going to upgrade? Lightning upgrade could be good. We could upgrade another Cold Snap. I think against the Slime Boss here, I'm going to upgrade a Sweeping Beam. It'll just help us in the second phase. It will be good to have a little extra AoE damage. Okay. Well, let's draw some cards. You know what? I'm playing too hastily. I should make it vulnerable to get a good split. Play a strike or get self-repair in play? Let's play a strike. Healing is not our biggest priority right now. Winning is. Okay, well, with this in mind, the best way to deal damage next turn is to get rid of this Frost Orb and just loop a Lightning Orb. I could also have considered Duplication Potion on loop. That might have been pretty good, too. Alright, card draw time. We draw a lot of cards with this deck. Let's keep doing that. Alright, so shame we can't play that, but we got a good split here down to 38. Alright. We can fully block. We could dual cast a lightning and have the block channeling next turn. That might be wise. Get those both a little lower. Next turn, hopefully we'll get a good split, but just in case we'll have that block coming in. I mean, if we could block this one's attack. Nah, I don't think that makes that much sense. Let's hit it. Get a little damage next turn. If we're lucky, these will hit that before it splits. Cool. So if we wanted to, we could finish with explosive potion, but with all this health, I think we're good. We got a sweeping beam. We got a compile driver. We got a cold snap, and that's the slime boss. All right, now we're talking. Hyper beam is just a big attack, which is not bad. It doesn't work well with loop. We could get rainbow, get some lightning, get some frost, get some dark. It's okay. It's a good way to use our energy. I think I'm interested in electrodynamics though. That's really good in a lot of early fights. Just blast some things down. Alright. We're not taking any of these. We are choked with velvet. We have a bunch of money, so shopping is good. Events are good. Then we can decide whether to fight a super elite. This path has 2 campfires and then a bunch of hallway fights. So we don't really want to go on the far right path. So let's start here and figure out the rest. Alright, this is one unfortunate thing about trading away starting relic as defect. You don't have any orbs to start with. Orbs. You normally start with them. But not here. Compile driver will not draw any cards. So, and it won't get through the block, so we'll just block for what we can, play a loop, play a self-repair, and take 4. Okay. So we could cold snap dual cast, that gets a lot of block. Cold snap dual cast defend is the most block we can do. But then we don't get to use our loop. Let's start a next turn. But do we want to take 10 damage for that? I don't think that we do. So let's take 6. 21 is its biggest attack, and after that it gets a little easier. Okay. We get a zap. A cold snap, yikes. I think we'll get a defend, and let's get some lightning in play. So we'll take 7 more, and then hopefully this will get blocking for us. Okay, 12 we can pretty easily block. We don't really want to draw 2 cards, do we? Let's just draw the 1, deal the extra damage, and let's zap to get that orb a little closer. I'm fine with taking 1 damage to deal 8 here. Oh, something has been slid under my door, and I know what it was. I'm gonna grab it real quick. Thank you, I completely forgot about that. I put a snack in the microwave, and then I left it in the microwave forever. Now it is cold again and rock hard. Perfect. Alright. Let's draw a card. Defend means we take 5, so I think dual cast is prudent. Defend to block 2, or just a strike. I think we can get through this fight through blocking. As long as we just do stuff like this. Next turn it might do the big attack again, but I also just want to lower its health. So, alright, I think we're about to get through it. And bam. Do we want a recursion? It's a free evoke, but it's another card that isn't good if we don't already have orbs. It's good with lightning orbs. It's good with focus. We don't really have those things. Let's move on. I'm very into apparition. And that has not changed. So let's go shopping. Not buying the relics, right? I don't know if we need another Cold Snap or Compile Driver. Storm could be a good way to start getting some damage going. We have 3 powers. I think removing our last strike is wise. We have 5 cards that are basically just strike. We have a bunch of apparitions, and we draw them a lot, and we have the energy to play them. Let's try a storm. Choose a card to add to our deck. Ooh, Defragment. Really interested. Glacier is good. Glacier is really good, but we have 2 Cold Snaps and 5 apparitions. So I'm more interested in the damage here. Defrag is great. Take another event. I'm not that excited about hallway fights. So we could take out all our strikes. We have already taken out every single one of our strikes. So the question is, do we want to go down to 25 health to add 5 strikes that heal? And considering we already can heal, I think the answer is pretty clearly no, we don't want strikes back. Okay. Upgrade or super elite? We do get an upgrade after that, but we're not going to get the relic. I would like some rare card rewards though. A Bias Cognition would go down real smooth. The money is good because without relics, shops are one of the best ways to like specifically upgrade our deck. And this, so we could do Campfire, Elite, Elite, Campfire. Or we could do Campfire, Event, Event, Event. So 3 events. Or 1 extra Campfire. Or all these elites in a row. We do have to kill the super elite at some point. And I feel like 5 apparitions in a 21 card deck makes us very strong. Electrodynamics is going to take these out. So I'm not going to focus on them. We are fully blocked with 1 Frost Orb. So their super elite power, burning elite superpower, is that they have extra strength to start with. Alright, let's get a Zap, an Apparition. We could Duplication Potion and Defragment, but it's probably better to do that on a Loop Plus. Alright, give me that Electrodynamics. So this will get rid of our Frost Orb, which is fine. I don't think we want to dupe Potion for 2 more Lightning, but I think doing it on Loop Plus might help us get through this Super Elite fight. So, next turn, we can get a lot of intangibility. We can get Storm. Storm is kind of unfortunate, because it's the last power in our deck, so it's actually going to be pretty useless. But now we're going to deal 12 damage each turn, and then at the start of our turn, Loop is going to deal another 12, so we're dealing 24 damage a turn to everything. and we're intangible for 2 more turns, and that helps with a lot of our problems. Okay. Now we just need to deal the rest of the necessary damage. Storm is, again, not useful to us. We could dual cast to deal another 18 at the cost of 4. So we'd deal 14 with this turn with dual cast. Or we could block. Considering we have a self-repair in play, I think we just need to deal damage as quickly as possible. I think dual cast is the only reasonable way to get through this enemy with the amount of apparition we have left. Okay, do we want to play some cold snaps? Or do we want to really focus on killing? If we play the cold snaps, it deals 10 damage, and we still have a frost orb, lightning orb in front, as long as we zap here. And we want to have the lightning orb in front to deal a bunch of damage at the start of next turn, so I think we're good here. Luckily, the enemy has not done blocking. Blocking would have been the main thing that caused a problem for us, but it didn't really block. Relic, don't click it. Emerald key. Buffer, or a leap. I think leap is a lot less good when we have apparitions as our main front-loaded block cards. Buffer, I'm interested in. Buffer is kind of an extra apparition. We can use apparitions on the multi-target attacks. Rip and Tear is, I don't think we need that kind of front-loaded damage. So, upgrade city. Apparition is not a terrible upgrade here. It's actually pretty darn good in our deck, but I think Defragment is our first priority. It also scales multiplicatively with that loop. Alright, give me an Electrodynamics. Just right off the bat. Alright, well, I'll take that. And do I want to deal lightning, or let's get some frost going first. Block a couple extra hits. We could Apparition, Buffer, Defend, and that buys us another couple turns to just chill. Because we're gonna want to spend, some time playing Electrodynamics, Loop, Defragment, etc. Alright, I guess we're just gonna keep doing that. So we're starting out kind of defensive here. We got one more Apparition in the deck, so we got 2 more turns. And then now we need to start killing it. So we'll do, let's see. Electrodynamics is important. Loot Plus is pretty important. Maybe the Apparition is skippable? No. I want to play the Storm before we play these. Maybe I just don't play the Apparition this turn, because Storm, Electrodynamics, Loop is going to deal, so that's 2 lightning, 3 after that. So that channels 3 lightning, and then we've got our loop, so that will evoke one of them. Our lightning is currently going to be 5 damage per turn with 2 focus, and so that's 15 damage to everything. We evoke one of them, it's another 10 to everything, so 25 this turn. Then at the start of next turn, loop plus will get us another 10 to everything, so yeah, we actually don't need the Apparition at all here. Because they are dead. It would be nice to self-repair, but it's 1 health, and this is perfectly reasonable, I think. Maybe we can draw it right now. No luck. Okay, don't take the relic, take the potion, and what do we want here? Rebound. There's nothing here we really want to rebound, except maybe a compile driver. We could take Chaos, channel 2 random orbs. That's kind of fun. It would be a lot better if we had orb slots and we needed to fill them up, but we don't have any capacitors or anything. But this is a way to just get some kind of orbs going at all. Boot sequence is less important. I mean, 12 damage for 1 energy is not bad, but I think I'm gonna move on without it. Our deck is going to have to be pretty focused. Don't take it. And we'll head for that next upgrade. Buffer Plus is a nice upgrade. Alright, Book of Stabbing. This is a tricky one. Usually. Defragment is very important. I think Zap is pretty important. We're always playing one of these. I'm willing to take 2 damage and get 2 wounds in my deck in order to get a Lightning Orb, I think. This will just get us started on the damage train. Taking unblocked damage from that enemy does give you those nasty wounds, which sucks. Okay, so we got a bunch of intangible. And we need to start playing powers. Ideally, we'll get a Storm first. Alright, let's draw. Okay. We'll play this, because we got no other choice, and get our Loot Plus going. That'll start next turn. Alright, now it's Power City. So, we could just buffer Electrodynamics, but I think we want to Storm Electrodynamics. And probably Dual Cast. Maybe I should have done Dual Cast first. So, its health is starting to go down. We got one more turn of Intangible. So we could deal 15 damage and evoke a bunch. And I think that's good. Alright. So it is in pretty bad shape. We just need to draw anything good. It's like Self-Repair. Self-Repair with Storm is a damage card. Take the gold. Don't take Blue Candle. And a Ball Lightning. Just as an attack to do a little more damage and channel a lightning. I think we want one more way to channel a quick orb. It's a little late to be adding something like a Ball Lightning. Normally you really want that in Act 1, but I'm going to take it now. Alright, so we could get Storm Innate. We could get Buffer block 2 times. We could get Electrodynamics and extra lightning. I think we want to make Storm Innate. I think our main strategy is we don't want a relic. I think our main strategy is just we block for 5 turns with apparitions, and with a small deck we pretty much always can do that, especially because we got buffer. So even if we don't draw an apparition turn 1, we probably have a buffer. It's kind of hard for us to draw cards on turn 1 because our compile drivers are better after we get things set up, but anyway, we get our powers set up and we just try to kill them with powers while we're intangible. And that's how we're going to try and win this one. Alright, we got a Storm. We are getting hit here. I think this is a good one for an energy potion. So we'll start with Storm. What do we want in front? Do we want a cold orb in front? Or, no, I think we want a hot orb in front. A spicy orb. So we'll play the Cold Snap last. Well, no, actually we could evoke the Cold Snap. Alright, so we'll do this, and we will Energy Potion. You know what, evoking the Cold Snap does exactly nothing, so we could have used it to evoke a Lightning Orb. Because look, this deals 6 damage, which is blocked, and then we take 11, it's the same either way. So, we could have done slightly more damage. Give me Apparitions and Electrodynamics, thank you. We don't need another Apparition here, so we'll just block 1 damage. This enemy is pretty done for. I would like my Self-Repair, though. It's dead if I don't draw it in this. If it's not the top card in my deck. It's going to take 9 now, and then I hope it blocks. You know what? It might block for 6. So it'll block before our loop triggers? Yeah. Okay, we get our Self-Repair. Awesome. Money, and we don't need these cards. We already have this, and we don't need block on turn 1 if we have all these apparitions. I mean, I will say, block on turn 1 allows us to play Storm a little more safely. And it's good if we don't immediately draw apparitions, because after turn 1, it's pretty much impossible not to. Are there a lot of fights that can just kill us on turn 1, though? Because as long as we don't die on turn 1, we can heal up later. I think I'm willing to skip here. An elite does give us a chance at a rare card and more money, and that's worth it to me, even with no relic. Okay, cool. We get Storm, Loot Plus, Apparition, and Zap. We'll take 3. We could use an Explosive Potion, but no need, I don't think. Alright. So we could play a bunch of these cards. What would we draw with Sweeping Beam that we'd be glad or sad about? Electrodynamics would be pretty good, even if we would have to skip Defrag. I think we draw here. Alright, Defrag, Apparition, and I think I'd rather block and keep all of these. We've got 3 more Apparitions on our deck and a buffer. No, Evoking is still worth more. Evoking it still deals more damage in the short term, and when we play Electrodynamics, it's going to channel 2 Lightning on its own and 1 from Storm, so it'll blast through all of these. We still don't get Electrodynamics, but we get a bunch of Intangible. Keep working on that, and we'll stay fully blocked. Alright, give me my last couple powers. We can't play attacks this turn, but we don't need to. We have Electrodynamics. Self-Repair is at the bottom of the deck. Does this kill? It channels 3 and evokes this for 10. It deals 10 to everything and then another 15, so it does kill. Can we play Self-Repair and live? We're invincible for the next 2 turns, so we would have to Self-Repair, Buffer. I think we can kill these things with just this Lightning Orb. Loot Plus is doing a lot of work for us here, so we're going to skip the Electrodynamics. We're going to try and get up to full health for the boss fight. And we got the Electrodynamics anyway, so if we play it, they just not quite instantly die. They're instantly doomed, but not instantly dead, and then we play the Self-Repair to kill. Lizard Tail, we don't take it. Auto Shields is a lot worse with Loop. It's a nice block card, but if you have Loop, on a Frost Orb, you get block at the start of your turn before you have a chance to play Auto Shields. We could Cool-Headed to draw a card. But I think we're set on all of these. And now it's an upgrade. So I think the big thing against this Guardian fight is I think we'll do well in the early part of the fight with the 2 little ones stealing our stuff, even if they steal Electrodynamics, which they will if it's in our deck. Electrodynamics and Buffer, I'm okay with them stealing those. It would be nice to play Electrodynamics and kill them, but it's okay. The big danger is when it does the Hyper Beam attack for 50-something damage, because if we can't block that, we just die. We have 37 health. So we could upgrade an Apparition and hope that we draw it on that turn, so that it stays in our deck, and we do have some card draw to try and get to it after all these powers go away. Our deck shrinks to 5, 9, 10, 11, 13 card deck after all this stuff exhausts. So if we have 1 upgraded Apparition and we can draw 5 cards, our odds are actually pretty low of not getting it. But I think Buffer is the best upgrade here. Prevent the next 2 times you would lose HP. As long as we can have Buffer up against and just play it against its big attack, it'll block it, and Buffer Plus means that if for some reason we play Buffer too early, something gets through, we're still in good shape. Alright, Storm, Loot Plus. Do we want to be intangible next turn, or do we want to just have another Lightning? I think we want to be intangible next turn, so that if we draw a single Apparition, it makes us intangible the following turn. Kind of a whiff here. Let's Sweeping Beam. Alright, we'll Defragment. Is there anything we want to draw? there's some things we want to not draw. So we're gonna Cold Snap. It will take our electrodynamics away. Kind of a bummer. But that's fine. Let's dual cast for max damage. Alright, it takes our electrodynamics. If this one lives, it would take our buffer. I would actually be fine with it taking our buffer, because then as soon as we kill it, it's added back to our hand, which means we could control when we get buffer back. Let's see. I have a family member saying hello. Just a moment. Hey, what's up? Thank you. I'll finish the weed eating later. I had a question I wanted to ask about the I'll put a thing on the door. Or something. We'll figure something out. It's rolling. Hey, you're a very good roommate, and I appreciate it. Alright, I have returned. I don't know how much of that you listened to, but if you did, think of it as bonus content for fans of the channel. I need to get a little sign to put on my door that says recording, so it's clear when I'm recording, because I also hang out in here a lot when I'm not recording and just chilling. These apparitions are not helping us that much, but we get 2 next turn. Okay, we'll start channeling some lightning. I think we just ball lightning, self-repair, buffer. We'll get working on that one. This one will steal the rarest card in our deck, which I guess is an Is it a Cold Snap because it's a common that isn't a starter card, or is it an apparition because it's an event card? I'm kind of interested. These things take the highest priority, so rares first, then uncommons, then commons, then starters, and I think they can take a curse or a status if it's like the only card in your deck, but they want the highest rarity thing. So what's higher rarity? I know a common is higher rarity than a starter, I think, but what about a common versus a event common? Let's find out. In the meantime, self-repair and buffer. Okay, it takes the common. So now I'm curious which it takes after that. What does it take the... If that Cold Snap wasn't there, would it take a defend or an apparition? Anyway, we're going to play 2 apparition and chill. So this is a nice time to be intangible. It's doing a big attack. I think next turn it charges, and the turn after that it hyper beams. Then at the turn after that it does nothing. Then the turn after that it goes big. Alright, so we can deal 9, 7, and then get our electrodynamics in play to just deal a bunch of damage. And that's what we're going to do. Next turn we're guaranteed to have 1 defend to block. No, next turn, sorry, we're just blocking with buffer. So next turn we're just hitting it. So now we just have to hit it before we die. So this is going to go onto our first buffer stack. Ball Lightning is probably our best card for dealing damage as quickly as possible. So now we want to draw it. Zap deals 10 damage. I don't think that's that worth. Alright, awesome. So that's why we played the Ball Lightning first, to get it into our discard so we can draw it. So now we play it again. And we want a Compile Driver or Zap. The cards in our deck are mostly not good, so we kind of want to get through them. But this deals more damage. Next turn it's not attacking, it's just doing its block thing. We could Cold Snap, Dual Cast to put a Frost Orb in front to try and do some block after that. So let's not cannibalize our draws too much. Alright, Hyper Beam takes 1 buffer. Next turn it does 2 big attacks. Okay, so right now we're dealing 15 and with Loot Plus 25 damage a turn. So we can get it down to 75. So the question is, can we deal 75 damage this turn and next turn before its attack lands? Or can we kill it? So first of all, we can deal 10 here. I think next turn it does something like 30 or 40 times 2. So we only need to... So one of them is blocked by buffer. But if the other one, if it's more than 37, it just kills us. And if we're going to block it, we have to block for 30. We have to fully block the first hit. So how much could we block for ideally? Let's say we have 2 Frost Orbs in front. With Loop, they're 4 each, and Loop is kind of like 2 extra, so we could have 16 block from that. And then with 4 energy, like the best we could block would be more Frost Orbs and Dual Cast would be a lot. But let's say we just played 4 Defends, that would get us to 36. I don't know if that fully blocks one of those hits. So we might be in trouble if we just try and block. Next question, how about damage? So if we Dual Cast, we deal 20 right now, then another 10, so that's 30. I think I want to draw cards this turn, so I think I want to Cold Snap and then Compile Driver, but I might Dual Cast first. No, maybe I'll Dual Cast last. Do I want a Lightning or a Frost Orb in front? Next turn is the big question. Am I trying to kill it, or am I trying to block? So 25 twice is 50. So then we get to that. But let's look at it more realistically. Let's say we Dual Cast first for 20. Then we Cold Snap, Compile Driver, Cold Snap. Then we have 2 Frost Orbs and 1 Lightning Orb in front. So then, first of all, at the end of the turn we're doing 5, but before that, we've done 20, then another one has evoked for 10, so we're doing 35. Then we're playing attacks to deal 13, 22. So we deal 52 this turn. Next turn, it takes 10 from the Lightning Orb, and we've dealt 62 damage, and it's down to 63 health, and we have 2 Frost Orbs. So 63 health. We have an Explosive Potion. So Ball Lightning would deal 20 damage immediately, which is pretty good, but then we've got those Frost Orbs in the way. I think we have to try and block by evoking Frost Orbs. So let's get this in front. I don't think we can kill it next turn, so if we don't block, we probably just die. So it's down to 63, which is nice. And we have this Explosive Potion. Oh. It's just doing 16 times 2? Well, that's a complete joke. What was I scared of? That wouldn't even kill us if we didn't block it. Okay, we're fine. Draw me a card, you're the card draw man. Draw me a card tonight. So this blocks 12, 8, so that's 20. If we block both of these, it's 30, and we still lose our buffer stack. I think if we evoke here, that's better. And it does more damage. Okay, we're just gonna kill it without losing. We're gonna lose our buffer stack this turn, whatever we do, and we're gonna kill it this turn. So I think we're good. Draw me some cards, you're the card draw man. Cold Snap. And Dual Cast. Alright, good fight. I don't know why I was so scared. I guess the higher ascensions buff the bosses a lot. Because I was expecting, like, literally more than double that damage. Take a potion. We have 520 gold. Bias Cognition. It's just really good. That's a lot of focus. All for One we've already discussed. We don't have any 0-cost cards in our deck. Rainbow. I don't think the Dark Orb is the way we're winning here. And Bias Cognition, I need a reason not to take it. I don't need... You know what? I'm curious, actually. We could have had Snecko, we could have had Inserter, we could have had Cursed Eye. But that's not the run we're doing. We're doing a challenge. Okay, early shop, high priority, but then we do a lot of fights. 3 events is good. What events would we want? Mind Bloom would upgrade all the cards in our deck, but we could no longer heal. With apparitions, upgraded apparitions do a lot to help you survive without healing. And the rare relic is actually useless to us from Mind Bloom. Yeah, actually, a lot of the best Act 3 events just give you relics, so we don't really care about those. So we like shops and we like campfires. So campfires, 1 each that way, and then we get 2 at the end, pretty much either path we do. I think we do want card rewards. I think we need to get some more good powers. I think our strategy is become intangible with apparitions and use that time to play good powers that win us the fight. So I think hallway fights are actually the best to do that. So hallway fights and shops. Get the card rewards, get the money. So 1 shop, campfire, 2 shop, elite, campfire, elite. Yeah, I think 2 shops is right, and that gets us 1 less campfire than... No, we can't even take both of these. So that's the most campfires we can get, the most shops we can get, and we get a lot of hallway fights along the way. Okay. Simple turn 1. 520 gold. Alright, that Frost Orb is going to save us some damage. Yeah, we're trying to kill it in the next 4 turns, definitely. So then let's just Apparition. We could Zap to get the Lightning Orb in front, but we don't even have Loop yet, so that's not an issue. And when we play Loop, it will channel Lightning and put the Lightning Orb in front. Alright. It's killing time. Sure. Alright, now we're intangible, and this is just, with that bias cog, this is just going to channel a bunch of times. And we don't have a self-repair, and we don't need a self-repair. Gold and card option. No. Channel 1 Frost, draw 1 card is the most interesting, but I don't think we're really trying to block with Frost that much. Alright, can't take those, so don't look at them, they'll make me sad. We could take another Storm. You take a Fission, but, I mean, Fission lets us play a lot of cards, but Velvet Choker, we don't want to take cards that would put us in a situation where we are sad, basically. This is mostly good to play a lot of cards, and sure, playing 6 cards is good, but this might let us play 8 cards, and if we can never do that, this card is a lot less useful. We could take another Storm just as a way to channel a lot of lightning with Bias Cog. I think that might be our best win condition. Barrage scales with orb slots, which we don't have. Apotheosis, I think, is actually really good with these apparitions. So I'm going to take that. And then I think I'll do a remove. With all these intangibles, it might be worth removing a defend. I could also see myself removing Zap. With Storm, I think Zap is actually worse than defend here, because we need defend for apparition and buffer. With buffer, apparition means we take 1 damage, so we just have to be able to block a small amount to keep our buffer stack after that. We also don't have to remove anything. We can save our money for the next shop, but that's a while away. And we're not going to be spending that gold on relics, so all of a sudden we can spend a lot more gold on everything else. Which is why we've removed so many cards this run, because we're not buying anything else. Just card removes and cards. And I guess we could buy potions. Dual cast has been useful. I think Cold Snap is as good as defend, honestly. But we gotta think about the heart fight. When the heart is attacking for after apparition 1 times 15, is 5 block useful? And I think the answer is no. So we're gonna get rid of this. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. I'm interested to see how it works out. Alright, Storm, Apparition, Electrodynamics, take 2. I'm into that. Actually, if we... Wait, can we just kill this turn? We're not killing that one, are we? So if we storm, then we storm, and that channels 1 lightning. Then we electrodynamics, and that channels 4 more, so that's 5 lightning. So 2 of them evokes, so that's 16 to everything. Then the other 2 deal 9 to everything, so 25. So if we used our potion, we'd kill that, but we never kill that. Okay. I didn't think the math would work like that, but I just wanted to check. So we could storm, self-repair. We could electrodynamics, self-repair, but I really think self-repair is not our big priority here. Electrodynamics is just going to end this fight before we run out of intangible, and I think that's the most important thing. Take 1 more? Fine by me. No, we don't even. Alright, let's Apotheosis, Bias Cog, and chill. That apparition will be there later if we really want it. And there is no way to play self-repair, there is no way to lose. We just end turn. Dex Potion, and another defrag. Charge Battery. Charge Battery, 10 block for 1 energy is an okay front-loaded block, but defrag is really good. Especially if we Apotheosis. Alright, we are being attacked for 27 here. So we want to draw an apparition. So the way we can draw the most cards is to storm, defrag, cold snap, then compile driver draws 2, but we're out of energy. So we're only drawing 1 card here. Let's do it like this. Oh right, we changed its attack intent. I should really pay attention to the enemy we're fighting. So it's going to deal 16, which is fine. We'll storm, and let's do another storm, I think. This blocks for 1 more this turn, though. We're not playing self-repair yet. This fight is going to, I think, take a while. We do want to deal attack damage, because it's going to add a curse to our deck, and we don't want that. This might be a good explosive potion. Now our attack can deal unblocked damage. And electrodynamics is not super important, so we can just loot apparition, apparition. Now we're just on the pain train. Pain train. I'm actually a little worried about, I don't want to kill it before we get to do Apotheosis and then draw self-repair. So we're going to play Apotheosis when we draw it. Buffer and apparition will help us keep from dying while we wait for the upgraded self-repair, and then we'll be able to play it. So we definitely play this. If we do another 9 damage, or another 18 damage actually, it's down to 108. How quickly does that die? Once we have Bias Cog, and especially if we have defrag as well, these start doing like 10 damage 5 times a turn. I think we just chill. I think if we want to, once we want to kill it at this point in the deck, we're going to be okay. So, Apotheosis. We could buffer, and it prevents 1 hit here, which is kind of sad, but it still has 1 buffer after that. Or we apparition, and it gives us 1 turn of invulnerable later, and Bias Cog. Let's get the damage train started. We have upgraded our thing. Uh-oh, this is going to deal a lot of damage every turn, isn't it? So this is dealing 40, so 24 more damage this turn, then next turn it goes down to 7, and it deals 35. So we got a couple more turns. So this deals 13 more right now. I was just trying to hold it up, not play it, but I guess we do that. It does have Malleable, so it gains a little block. I could compile driver to try and draw cards. Alright, it is dead at the start of next turn. I don't think we can stop that, so we need to draw it right now. Unfortunately that kills. We could do a Hail Mary and Distilled Chaos for a 1 in 3 chance of self-repair. That seems like a waste. We're just gonna lose some health. Recursion? Recursion, now that we're relying on this loop a lot, Recursion is actually a good way to control what's in front. But it's another card that isn't these really good things. And it doesn't draw the really good things. And I don't think it itself is that amazing. We're not getting close to our 6-card limit, and we're usually not running out of cards in hand. I think I'm okay taking it. Alright, let's draw a card. Okay, we're gonna get hit a little bit here. This might be a good time. So we get hit for 13. I think this is a good time to Distilled Chaos and see what we hit. There's nothing that like messes up our game plan too much. I'm gonna get a Lightning Orb in play first, so that if we hit Compile Driver, it could draw us an Apparition. Okay, we get a lot of powers, so that's a lot of Lightning Orbs, and we do get one cold thing. Oh no! Distilled Chaos counts for Velvet Choker. Oh. It does say play the top 3 cards, so that does count as cards played. Well, I'm gonna take a lot of damage here. But I learned something, and that's always worth it. Alright, this is more relaxed. It's not doing anything this turn, and now we're intangible as long as we need to be. So we have one to fight. A shame that that Frost Orb is in front to do all that blocking we don't need, but we are going to get to Apotheosis our self-repair. We can save one of these apparitions, play it later. Play the other one now, just to be sure. It's in dire straits, but as long as we draw the self-repair before we kill it... Okay, we did this time. Alright, we're back up to 15. None of these are good for our deck. Alright, we want to go to that shop still. We want this upgrade still. Do we want to heal at the campfire? Nah. So what's a good upgrade here? If we upgrade Apotheosis to cost 1, that's nice, but we're always playing Apotheosis when we draw it anyway. I think upgrading Storm is actively bad, because that's another card in our starting hand that isn't an apparition. So we want to upgrade things that are good. I was going to say in some specific way, but just upgrade things that are good. Upgrading an apparition is nice if we draw it and don't want it on turn 1. But if we draw a bunch of apparitions on turn 1, I think we just play them. Upgrade self-repair helps us a little bit, but it's also not a priority to play. I think maybe we want to upgrade cards that we're trying to play as soon as possible, and I think that's Defragment. Defragment is usually a really good upgrade, but I just like to be sure. Okay, Storm, Electrodynamics, and 1 apparition is enough. Ought to be enough. Cool. Apotheosis, Apparition, Zap, and Defend. So we've upgraded our self-repair. Very happy about that. We'll play it. You know what? Let's do a dual cast. So that'll deal 16 to everything. Now we can channel another lightning, become intangible, and block the remaining damage. So it's attacking for 2. We block for 2. Alright, I think it's just dead, right? Yep. We've played our self-repair, nothing else we do matters. Do I want a Doom and Gloom? Get a little Dark Orb going. I think Lightning Orbs are the thing for us, but drawing 2 cards... I didn't want a regular Cool-Headed, because you add one card to your deck, and when you draw it, when you play it, you draw something else. So it's like you spend one energy to get the card you would get if you didn't have a cool head in your deck. But draw 2 cards, you're getting through your deck faster than you would without it. So let's head to the shop. Fight for a rare relic, or don't fight. No need to be greedy. Give me money. Really nice relic. Can't afford it. Ooh, I like the heat sinks. We cannot afford Meteor Strike, and unless we get energy potions, we will never afford Meteor Strike. Okay, so things that are good. Glacier, heat sinks, card remove. That's going to be 222 and then 261. So we can't afford all 3. I think heat sinks with Storm, we are number 1. Heat sinks is another power to play with Storm. So heat sinks is another zap or double zap, and it makes the rest of these good at drawing each other. The one potential downside is that we draw too many apparitions, but I think that's going to be okay. Glacier is really good at just helping us block early before we get our apparitions going, but all those frost orbs do get kind of blown out by our lightning orbs. On the other hand, our lightning orbs can help evoke those. Potions. Snecko oil can be a great way to get an apparition when you really need one. It can also be a great way to waste an apparition that you draw, and you draw 2 apparitions and they both cost 3, and then they disappear. I think card remove. What would we remove? Would it be a defend? Would it be a zap? I think it would be a zap at this point, because any power is just better than zap when we have an innate storm plus. I think we like heat sinks. I don't think we need Glacier. And so maybe we do this in a potion. Block? I mean, Leap is okay. Leap is okay at just helping us survive for a turn while we wait to draw our other stuff. We could get rid of Dual Cast, but it's sometimes nice with a Frost Orb. So Focus Potion or Power Potion? So Focus is incredible. Power Potion does work with Storm and Heat Sinks. I think Focus Potion doesn't often save us except by killing faster. Power Potion could kill faster, but also do a variety of other things. Alright, this fight should be pretty easy. When you have apparitions in the transient fight, you play them. It survives for 5 turns, and we're invincible for 5 turns. Yeah. The only question is if we can draw Apotheosis before we draw Self-Repair. Okay, cool. Do we even need to block for one, or are we going to deal so much damage? It dealt 40 last turn, so this turn would be like 50. So we're dealing 10 and then 21. No rush, let's just block one. Okay, let's draw some cards. Buffer is actually better than Apparition. We don't want to play that because we might draw Apotheosis and not be able to play it and be sad. Okay, give me Apotheosis, Self-Repair. Thank you. So Apotheosis, Self-Repair. If we do Defrag, that deals 14 damage immediately, and then they do another 27 at the end of the turn, so 41. And then we add another 14, so 54. So that doesn't fully block, but also we have 2 buffer stacks, so it doesn't really matter. So we would take 3, but we don't. Okay. And buff. So we're back up to 34 health. Fairy in a Bottle is an incredible potion. This is called the 1 extra Apparition potion. We don't need a Melter. We don't need a Sweeping Beam. Do we need a Compile Driver? I think no. Heat Sinks is going to be a lot of the card draw we need. Alright, Giant Head could be an interesting test here. Early Apotheosis is great, so we don't need to waste that Apparition. Do we want to draw a card here? I mean, this is going to deal 10 damage, but there's a lot of cards we want to play the first time we draw them. So I think overdrawing is a bigger danger to us. Especially when we've gotten our Apotheosis turn 1, so we're not wasting any Apparitions on our way to the rest of the fight. Alright, Biased Cog, 5 focus. I think we can win this in 5 turns, right? Can we deal 100 damage a turn? This doesn't start being bad until much later in the fight. We haven't played our Heat Sinks yet. I think we're going to start with Loot Plus, and we'll do the Biased Cog next time we draw it. Upgraded Apparitions from Apotheosis are super sweet. If we can draw Apotheosis turn 1, we're in great shape. Right, Storm. Electrodynamics. And just defend. So give me another defrag. Alright, Heat Sinks. Cold. Alright, we can fully block. You know what? I want to get this out of the way first, actually. So we'll channel 2 lightning. We'll recursion that. And if we defrag, we're fully blocked. We could even dual cast it so that we do more lightning orb damage next turn. I think that's good, because from here on out... No, you know what? We want to draw an Apparition or a buffer next turn, but we don't know for sure that we will, so let's block for 18 at the start of the turn. Or 12, sorry. I mean 12 and then 18 if it stays there till the end. So now it's a big attack. Okay, we got the draws we need, so we didn't have to be so worried about that anyway. So now we're just trying to kill it. Okay. I could Cold Snap Recursion and save an Apparition. So then we'd have 12 block, and we could evoke for another 9, so that's 21. So that fully blocks without using our Apparition. The longer we can keep these, the longer we can keep them. If we can play multiple, it's nice, because it blocks for next turn, but if we don't... Okay, we've got our Bias Cog, so now we're ready to kill it. So no more Frost Orbs if we can avoid them. We're just trying to get lightning. So let's just get our big buffer in play. That'll protect us for 2 turns against its monster attacks. And dual cast for another 34 damage, and we win the fight. We have an upgraded self-repair in play, and we're not taking damage anyway. Okay, cool. That's a win. Don't take the relic. Do we want another ball lightning? Not really. We've got Storm for lightning orbs, and we have 1 ball lightning plus already. We don't care about either of these. I mean, we can't play this one. Card upgrade? Heat Sinks upgrade is pretty good. Apotheosis upgrade is nice. Heat Sinks upgrade, I think, helps us get to Apotheosis faster, and we really want to get to Apotheosis. Biased Cog upgrade is incredible, but usually we're not playing Biased Cog the first time we draw it in these long fights. We're saving it to finish the fight with, and by that time we've played Apotheosis. I think Heat Sinks is good. It helps us draw Apparitions. So then, that's our last upgrade. We got a Campfire here. We could try and get a rare card reward. I wouldn't mind a Core Surge or a Buffer. I think we can beat an Elite without taking damage, in which case it's better than a regular fight. Okay, let's draw cards. Alright, so we'll just get a couple turns of Intangible, since we don't get to keep them. I really wish... The card I want more than anything else is Capacitor right now. Just get me some orb slots, Because if we have a bunch of orb slots, we can actually set up a bunch of frost orbs with a ton of focus and do full blocking without apparition. But we're not currently allowed to do that. So, since we can't full block after our apparitions wear off, we just have to kill before they do. Alright, draw me a bunch of cards. I'm totally fine taking one. Okay, no Apotheosis. I was really hoping we would draw an Apotheosis so that we didn't have to play these apparitions. So, 2 more turns of Intangible while we play Powers, I think is just necessary. The rest of these will be here later. Alright, we got an Apotheosis, and it would be a waste to play Buffer against a 1x3, so we could do Apotheosis, Storm, Cold Snap. Or just defend. Do we want to play a Compile Driver next turn, or do we want to draw it now? I think we want to play it next turn. And we can just move the Frost Orb forward a little bit, so we're fully blocked. Alright, another 1x3. This Frost Orb is going to help us do buffers, so this draws 2 cards. It is vulnerable this turn, as opposed to... I mean, it's not vulnerable, sorry, but it is damageable as opposed to intangible. So these are going to deal 4, and then that's... No, sorry, 1 each, and then that's 3, so we're fully blocked, so let's dual cast. This is going to... Electrodynamics will draw a bunch of cards, and it would be sad if we can't play them, but we still want to do all that damage. So, next turn we are not intangible, but we're buffered. So, okay, the 45 attack we like. So, I think we're definitely going to end the fight next turn. We're already blocked with buffer. So I think our only goal is, if we can draw through our deck again, to play Self-Repair for 1 health. Okay. So buffer stack. Alright. Powers draw a lot of cards. Draw me cards. Oh, whoops, powers kill it. Okay. Almost saw a Great Relic and thought, yay, don't. I like another buffer here. I'm interested in buffer. Blessing of the Forge is much better than Dex Potion. We only have 3 cards that benefit from Dexterity. We're mostly blocking with Frost Orbs, or Apparitions, or Buffer, so Dex Potion, nah. Blessing of the Forge can upgrade Apparitions on a turn where we don't want to play them. Let's take the Ruby Key. Important to note, for unlocking the achievement, I think you just have to beat the Act 3 boss, because otherwise, if you didn't assemble the keys, this would be as far as you can go. Alright. So Storm. I don't think we want to play... So we could just play Buffer here. We do Storm Buffer, but I think I want to save the Buffer and use the Apparition. And we're fully blocked. We've played 3 cards. That's a start. I think we want to save the Power Potion. Alright, Heat Sinks is good. It's not doing anything, so neither will we. We could play a Power Potion to draw cards, though. I think that... But they could be intangibles that we don't want right now. If we had played Apotheosis already, I would definitely go for the Power Potion. I wish it would stop forbidding us from drawing cards, but what you gonna do? We have Storm and Apparition. Alright, so... Defrag. Right. Apparition. Do we want to play another card? I think we want to get another Frost Orb in play. So we're fully blocked, and we've got a lot of powers set up. I think we're in good we haven't wasted too many intangible. And here's another one now. So Apotheosis. Loop. We can't play 2 more cards. Next turn we're guaranteed to draw an Apparition. So we'll just play one now. We're fully blocked. It's at 11, so we only get to play one card next turn. But if it attacks, we just do Apparition. If it doesn't, we're fine. Okay. He gets some strength, but that doesn't matter against intangible. Now we have enough focus to really consider blocking with our cards. Alright, we could do Recursion, which blocks for 7. Then Electrodynamics evokes it for another 7, so that puts us 14 to 22. We're being attacked for 30. I think we can probably block without using our Apparition. Okay, so this gets us to 22, and then Defend gets us to exactly 30. So we get to save this for a rainy day. That's awesome. That's what we need to do, because Apparitions is 5 turns. That's awesome. But a lot of these fights are going to go more than 5 turns. We just have to have other ways to block. Buffer is good against this big attack. Defragment is good in general. We have another Buffer plus. Thanks, Apotheosis. I might play Self-Repair just to draw 2 cards, and no, we don't want that. We don't want to draw Bias Cog if we can't play it. We want to play Bias Cog next turn. So, this is going to get it below half. It's going to do the split attack. So can we kill it next turn? No. So we're just going to wait. But can we play 5 cards next turn? If we can play 5 cards, we want to dual cast. No, we only need to play 4 cards next turn. Alright, so we lose a buffer stack. I don't think we can kill it, but I think I would like to get that up to 12. Get another... do that. It's close. Killing it is close. If we do this, it's going to deal another 51 damage, and then 36 at the end of the turn, which is a lot. The damage doesn't matter. Let's get a Frost Orb set up. If you can't kill it, then the damage is negated because it heals back up, and it's not doing anything. So, we want to kill it. We're just here to draw cards and channel orbs. Let's get a lightning orb in front. We'll have 1 Frost Orb. We got 3 buffer stacks, so even against a formidable ×3 attack, we're good here. Let's draw some cards. Alright, I think we just use our buffer stacks and just fill our heart with lightning and love. Let's put that lightning orb in front to blast it next turn. We're blocking the first attack. If we do this, it doesn't block the second attack, so we're still keeping 1 buffer stack either way. And we're still in pretty good shape. Alright, it's just attacking once, so our buffer stack will protect us, but we can also just kill it. Alright, good Time Eater fight. Hey, we got the achievement. Who needs relics? To beat the game with a single relic. So now we could take relics to beat the heart, but where's the fun in that? You know, I'm not doing this challenge just because I care about Steam achievements. I'm doing it because it's fun to challenge myself, and I'd like to keep challenging myself. I don't have to fight the heart. You don't get anything for fighting the heart, by the way. You still advance ascension levels, even if you don't collect the keys or anything. I fight the heart because it's fun to fight the heart, because I think I can fight the heart. Alright, upgrade. Not Storm. We don't want next card cluttering our opening hand. Bias Cog, good. Self-Repair, not really relevant. Dual Cast? We get that eventually. I think maybe it's an Apparition upgrade or a Buffer upgrade. It's... if we draw too many Apparitions before we get... okay, so if we get Apotheosis early in the fight, we're doing great. I think if we get this in the top part of our deck, we're already feeling pretty strong. So, let's figure out what helps us if we don't get Apotheosis, and I think it's probably an upgraded apparition, so that even if we draw all our apparitions at the worst possible times, we'll still have one later. I think if we draw everything in the best order, we win. We're trying to make sure we win even if we draw things in a bad order. None of this is good for us. I could consider a Storm. You know what? Just because we have a Heat Sinks Plus, I'll take one more Storm as a... It's kind of like a Cool-Headed, but for Lightning Orbs. This will help us scale damage. I'm very glad we got that Fairy in a Bottle. Let's try and keep it here. Alright, Apotheosis turn 1. We like it. So now we defend, we Storm, and we take 4, and we are not too bothered about that. Let's dual cast. I don't remember the last time I dual casted nothing. Alright, Electrodynamics Apparition is awesome. We'll take 5, which is totally fine because we have an upgraded self-repair. We could also do a Ball Lightning. But I think we're trying to end the fight on this round through the deck. And this is going to let us play a bunch of powers. Okay, it has given us -1 focus, which sucks. But I think we're still in good shape. Let's get another Storm. I want to do Loop and Buffer. We would lose 1 buffer sack to that. We could play Cold Snap instead. But then we don't get both of those. So do we want to buffer to prevent 1? Or do we want to get better powers? And I think the answer is better powers. Bias Cog or Defrag? I think we end the fight pretty quickly if we Bias Cog. So we will Loop or Defrag. I think Loop deals more. Because this buffs all of them by 2, and with Loop this buffs... So this is 2 extra damage 3 times, plus more if we evoke. Loop is however much damage these do, 2 extra times, so 12 twice. So the more focus we gain, the better Loop is. The more loops we have, the better focus is. It's just kind of I couldn't decide whether to say multiplicative or multiplication. Yikes, multiplication. I went to school. I promise. Alright, we don't really want to kill these things until we can self-repair, because we want to get up to full health for that heart fight. So, let's not draw a card we couldn't play. So give me that self-repair. Please. Please? If we play both of these, it dies. If we play this, it dies. No self-repair. Wait. Oh, we already discarded self-repair. We didn't play it. Well, it's dead. My bad. We could have an incense burner, but I'm not like that. We don't want these. We already have this, we already have this, we already have this, and our deck does not get better by having more of it, I don't think. So do we want Blessing of the Forge more than we want the Power Potion? I think a Power Potion is better, because it can draw a card. Do we want it more than a Fairy in a Bottle? Fairy in a Bottle I think saves our life if we don't draw apparitions on turn 2, when we super need them. But Blessing of the Forge is great on turn 1 if we get apparitions. If we get 1 apparition on turn 1, we can Blessing of the Forge, because the heart doesn't attack on turn 1. But we have 1 for that. You know what? I usually pour out the old potion to get a new potion, but I'm actually feeling like this one is fresh. It's still good. No need to waste it, so we'll let the elites keep theirs. Alright. Heat Sinks, then Storm draws more cards. We do take a couple damage by playing cards, but I think that's worth it. Alright, and let's get a Frost Orb in play. This is our upgraded apparition, so we don't have to do it. So we'll take 1 damage, just to get some extra block going. Alright, I'd love a... Yikes. Love a card. So this is our fairy in the bottle, if we want it to be. But power potions draw 2 cards, and I think that's worth doing here. Creative AI is going to be really helpful, I think. Static Discharge is also really good if we have Apparition for the multi-attack, though. That channels a lot of lightning, and it's going to help deal 300 damage a turn. I think that's worth it, so we're just going to use our fairy in the bottle here. We could use a Blessing of the Forge or Apotheosis. We did not need Blessing of the Forge. So, I mean, we could still draw an intangible right now from the Static Discharge, or from the loop. We have, but we also drew a Void, so we have no energy, so this is our fairy in a bottle. I was hoping to play Slimed, but Void got us. Do we want this in the back? Yeah, we do. Because this is, Static Discharge is going to put it back at the front, so fairy in a bottle. This is why we kept you. Thank you. Alright. So, unfortunately, we don't have that much max health, so we can't afford to Static Discharge its multi-attacks that much. But we can a little, so draw me some cards. Channel me a bunch of lightning. I could cool-headed and then channel a bunch of lightning. Alright. And we definitely want the intangible here. So next turn, there's a buffer if we want it, but we won't have any block first. So if we played the buffer on its own, it would just spend one of the buffer stacks on Beat of Death. But we're full blocked here. We got a lot of powers started. You know what? It might have been better to do Creative AI instead of Static Discharge. I'm not sure we're using the Static Discharge. I don't think it's worth playing buffer on its own here. I do want to get the focus and draw cards, even at the cost of one of our very small amounts of health. We can defend and buffer, so let's do that. We can dual cast first. Alright, so next we got some buffer stacks. We've drawn a lot of our intangibles, so we got 2 left. So if it does the multi-attack, we need the block. Okay, we got an Apparition. But we don't have 15 health. So I need to draw a block of some kind. Unfortunately, our buffer stacks are just going to go away to Beat to Death. Okay, so defend, Cold Snap, and Apparition. So with all this focus, our Frost Orbs are suddenly very good. Alright, this is a good buffer stack. If we play anything, we lose 1 buffer stack. But we could get... So we could end this turn with 0 buffer stacks, or get 1 more. We have Apparition next turn. I think we need to start killing this, so I'm going to waste a buffer stack. Wait. This is going to evoke that and give us block. I think that happens before Beat of Death. Okay, cool. We keep our buffer stack. So we'll channel a bunch more lightning. Have 2 more buffer stacks. Unfortunately, that did draw our Apparition, is the biggest danger. But we have 3 buffer stacks. So if it buffs next turn, that's great. Okay. Defend. See if we can draw some good cards. No. But we got a Wound and a Burn out of our deck, so now we have 3 Apparitions and 2 cards that draw cards. No, 4 cards that draw cards. And we have Cold Snap. So if it does a big attack, we just end turn with buffer. If it does a multi-attack, we're probably fine. We can probably get an Apparition. Big attack. I don't think we play anything here. If we play anything, we lose a buffer stack. Next turn, we are... Okay. We could get no Apparitions next turn, and that would be bad if it does the multi-attack. But I also don't think it's better to It can't do the big attack twice in a row. So it's probably doing the multi-attack next turn. With that in mind, we could do like Cool-Headed, Apparition, and try and get another Apparition. So then we lose our buffer stacks, but if we can get these Apparitions in play for the next couple turns, we can kill it. So I think let's take away the chance of dying and sacrifice our buffer stacks. So now we're guaranteed to be intangible next turn. We don't even have to play this, we can just keep our buffer stack. If we'd drawn Apparitions, I would have played multiple, but we drew not Apparitions. So, buffer, take it away. Alright, now we have, we have 3 storms, so this will evoke that instantly, so we don't take any damage. Now we Apparition. You know what? We can just kill it this turn, right? 24, and, well no, 13 plus 16 is 29. Whew. Alright. We have beaten the heart with 1 relic. That was a fun run. More successful than a different attempt to do it. And a great time. Hope you enjoyed watching. I'm used to waiting to see if it gives us any more unlocks, but we're out of those. Doot doot. A 1, a 1, a 1, a 1, 1, 1, 1. If we wait long enough, we might get it again. We might get it again. And then you have a doot doot. Almost, almost. I don't know why I'm saying almost. Doot doot. That, but it did come around. Okay. We killed 8 elites and didn't get any relics from it. Beyond perfect. Defeat 3 bosses without taking damage. Well, that's cool. Yo, shout out to the Apparitions event. My best friend.